Give us that Hebrews 11, 8 to 10 CEB. That's why I began by telling you, it's very concerning how people are being taught in churches. Everybody, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to a place that he was going to receive as an inheritance. He went out without knowing where he was going. By faith, he lived in the land he had been promised as a what? There are people with Christ in them, but Christ is a stranger. He was in the promised land, but he was a stranger. He was living as a stranger in the promised land. He had arrived, but he was still dancing with shadows, dancing with the laws of Moses, dancing with the Old Testament. Is this hitting home? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Abraham had already arrived at the promised land, but he was living as a stranger. Let's continue. You will understand as we move on. Everyone, he lived in, if that is your Bible, underline that word, tents. He lived in tents along with Isaac and Jacob, who were co-heirs of the same. Why are you living in tents, yet you have arrived in the promised land? Let's continue. I'll explain. Everyone, he was looking forward to a city that has foundations, whose architect and builder is God. Did he found it? Never. Write this down for you to understand what I have just said. You can never arrive at God without access, which is through the knowledge of Christ. You can never arrive at God without access, which is through knowledge about Christ or about Jesus. Are you writing? Write this also. God has no face or image outside Christ. God has no face or image outside Christ. Outside Jesus, God has no face and has no image. Knowing God, knowing Jesus is knowing God. To know God, is a must. You must know Jesus. Nobody can know God outside Jesus. Give us Hebrews 1, 1 to 3, KJV, and also Amplified Classic. Very fast. Everyone, let's read. God, who at some times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by, please, I want you to underline that word, by the prophets. Hath in these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. Everyone, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image. Say with me, Jesus is the express image of God. I'm not hearing your voices. Say it again. So, without Jesus, God has no face. He has no image. Are we together?